Maybe we'll wait for another 1 minute and then we'll start. Yeah, and good morning to whosoever is joining now. Good afternoon from Indian side. Yeah,
Good morning, ma. Good
Morning.
morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, good morning to everyone.
Mm.
I hope that everything is fine.
Yes, thank you. And it is our last class in this session. Yeah, so let's hope that you'll take certain things from this class also. Yeah. So just
Yes,
yeah, so just to begin with a kind of a thing. Yesterday we people had discussed the fourth unit of Block 3. That was mainly the role of man and woman, you know, and role conflicts, role change in different phases of marriage. So that was there in Unit 4 of the Block 3. Then we had started with our Block 4, that is social problems and social services. And in that, we talked in first unit, that is introduction to social problems, the different types of social problems, and different approaches to study social problems. And in the second unit, we study some of the contemporary social problems, mainly HIV/AIDS. We talked about environmental degradation. We had talked about communalism. We talked about corruption, youth unrest, and migration and displacement. This is what we covered yesterday. And today we are going to now begin with our unit 3. Yeah. So just a minute. Yeah. So this now. Yeah, now I think it is visible to all of you. So this is our unit 3, that is again a contemporary social problems, but it is a part 2. So the first thing it talks about, it is actually in this we are going to discuss about suicide, substance abuse, adult crime, juvenile delinquency, issues faced by minorities, backward classes, and women. This is what we are going to cover in our unit 3. So first of all, we are going to talk about suicide. Yeah. So actually, social problems vary with social class. A social class is a large category of people within a system of social stratification who have a similar socioeconomic status in relation to other segments of their community or society. Social class is not organized, but the individuals and families who compose it are relatively similar in educational, economic, and social status. So this is what it talks about how the social problems are. So now, see, suicide. When we talk about suicide, it is actually one of the major social problems. The long hot summer of the millennium year 2000 saw an, an unusual spurt in suicide in different parts of India. It was scarcely even noticed that since the near mass suicide of farmers in 1997 and 98, there has been a marked increase in suicides and suicide attempts. In India, actually, this figure is, the figure of 2021 is, I have just noticed, I already studied somewhere that in India, around 164, 1,64,000 people died in 2021. 2021 is a time when we had been through even COVID and all, and there were too much of kind of poverty because there were unemployment, people were losing jobs, and that may be one of the reasons why people were committing suicide. So this is what is there. but I have just read it in one of the places. I was just searching about the total number of suicides and I received this information. So, according to WHO report, you all are aware of WHO, you know. So, according to WHO report, youngsters in the age of 15 to 29 years accounted for highest rate of suicide per 1 lakh population in India during, this is what they are talking about, 2012. But this is the same actually, you know, the young people of this age, they attempt for more suicidal deaths. We keep hearing about this kind of deaths are happening due to various reasons. So suicide is actually death resulting resulting uh, either from a deliberate act of self destruction or from inaction when it is known that inaction will have fatal consequences. So, this is how it is. And generally, it is seen the causes are poverty, unemployment, you know, a sudden and unacceptable downturn in economic fortune, an unbearable debt burden, and the consequent socio-economic and psychological pressures, dowry disputes, illnesses, failure in examinations. These kind of things are generally noticed for the people who are committing suicide. Here we are going to talk about there are three different kinds of suicides. They have been explained here. First is altruistic suicide. So what is that? It is one of the three types of suicide. You know, it has been described by sociologist Emile Durkheim. You know, it is said that it is a type of suicide in which an individual who is very closely integrated into a group or society kills himself for the welfare of the group. See, it says that altruistic suicide is motivated by a desire to serve the needs of the group. It is suicide based on self sacrifice and tends to occur in social systems that de emphasize the importance of the individual. So, basically, in this kind of a society, this is something actually not very, we generally don't see these kind of deaths frequently, but you know, some types of them, you know, even we yesterday we talked about youth unrest. So sometimes the people take this kind of a extreme step. You know, one person just come in front and put kind of sometimes we probably have seen in movies and certain places and even in the newspaper we read about some these kind of deaths, so suicides where they just put on petrol on themselves and just, you know, kind of through fire, then they kill themselves just because they feel there are certain things happening in the society which is not good. So they are fighting for the cause and they take this kind of a extreme step. So this is something what is noticeable, you know, what we notice. Second is anomic suicide. Anomic suicide is result from normlessness or social and personal disorganization. So the value system of the group no longer has meaning for the individual and he or she feels isolated, lonely, and confused. So any disruption of a way of life may lead to this type of suicide. For a rich person suddenly to become poor or a poor person suddenly to become rich might lead to a catastrophic breakdown in the established normative integration of the individual's personality. You know, so it says that it is a result of not being properly integrated into a system of cultural values and thus feeling isolated and regarding the social norms as meaningless. So this is kind of a general what we hear any individual who commits suicide due to whatever kind of pressures or due to, you know, like we just now a few minutes back I talked about that people sometimes commit suicide due to examination fear or due to examination or due to their You know, like in this also we talked about the people sometimes commit suicide if they are kind of unemployed, no, don't have any source of income. Any cause can lead to this kind of a suicide. Third is egoistic suicide. So, this is a suicide due to the existence of strong social norms for which the individual is made to feel personally responsible, thus resulting in an overwhelming burden on the individual. So egoistic suicide is due to a strong value system, weak group integration, and an overpowering sense of personal responsibility. Sometimes, some individuals who are very egoistic, and somewhere if they feel they are not getting that kind of importance and they are not feeling, too good to do whatever they are doing, and they commit suicide, and that is called as egoistic suicide. So, this is what, in brief, we have talked about suicides, pattern of suicides and what the kind of suicides are happening. Second now is substance abuse. So substance abuse, basically drug addiction, actually can be defined as a state of periodic or chronic intoxication, you know, detrimental to the individual and the society, produced to repeated consumption of drugs. Now, what are the characteristics we see in substance abuse? It is basically an overpowering desire or need to continue taking the drug and to obtain it by any means. Whatever we do, we just want to get we need a substance abuse, any kind of a thing, and we try all our efforts to get it. A tendency to increase the dose. Third, a psyche, that is a psychological and sometimes a physical dependence on the effects of the drugs. So these are the three main characteristics of the thing. Then it says, actually, basically in India, there is a very huge number. There are people who are becoming dependent on drugs. Uh, and even in South Africa, when I was reading about your countries, and I have noticed that there are many, many countries where substance abuse is on, you know, on a higher level. People are now indulging in this kind of a thing, somehow, somewhere, wherever they are getting opportunity to get drugs, they are, or alcohol, whichever way they are taking that. So over the years, drug addiction is becoming an area of concern, and traditional ignoring social taboos, emphasis on self-restraint and control of the joint family and community are eroding. So this is what is also observed, that these could be the reasons. The processive of industrialization and urbanizations have led to loosening of the traditional modes of social control, thus rendering an individual vulnerable to the stresses and strain of modern life. The fast changing social milieu, among other factors, is mainly contributing to the spread of drug abuse, both of traditional and of new psychoactive substance. So this is what is being noticed, that these are somehow the reasons that's become more popular for people indulging in substance abuse. So it says then, constitutional and legal framework. It says that Article 47 of the Constitution of India directs the state to regard the raising of the level of nutrition and the standard of living of its people and the improvement of public health as among its primary duties, and in particular to endure to bring about prohibition of consumption except for medical purposes of intoxicating drinks and drugs which are injurious to health. Then section 71 of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985 says government to establish centers for identification, treatment, etc. of addicts and for supply of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. So this is what it talks about. You know, it says then we can further says the issue basically the issues related to drugs are tackled by government of India through into pronged strategy with vis-a-vis supply reduction and demand reduction. So it is needed. If government has to uh, do any kind of a work, it has to basically control both things, reduce the supply and reduce the demand. So both needs to be reduced. So it has to be worked through the government. You know, it says that uh, uh, there arose the need for implementing strategies for prevention of drug abuse, educating the people about its ill effect, and rehabilitation of the addicts. It's a real need of the time, you know. So, Government of India has a three-pronged strategies, you know, for demand reducing, consisting of building awareness and educating people about the ill effects of drug abuse, dealing with the addicts through program of motivational counselings, treatment, follow-up and social reintegration, and to impart drug abuse prevention rehabilitation training to volunteers with the view to develop an educated cadre of service providers. You know, so these are basically the main uh, things that explains about the substance abuse. Now, adult crime. So, what is crime? So, crime is basically any behavior that violates the criminal law. It says further that it is a behavior that violates legal sections, that is, criminal, civil, military, which prescribe punitive action against offenders. Then it says it is a behavior contrary to the group's moral codes for which there are formalized group sanctions, whether or not there are laws. You know, it says any antisocial behavior that is harmful to individuals or groups. So now it says there could be organized crimes. You know, what are organized crimes? So, organized crimes are crimes committed by members of an organization devoted to activities that are in violation of the law. So, criminal organizations such as any mafia, criminal syndicates have a division of labor, you know, with certain roles filled by skilled specialists, hierarchy of status, and authority, their own system of norms, and strict organizational loyalty and discipline. So, this is what we understand by organized crime. Then, white collar crime. We have heard about this term, I think, in our day to day life also, we keep hearing, you know. So, there are white collar criminals. So, it says white collar crime is defined as crime committed by a person of respectable and high social status in the course of discharge of his or her official responsibilities. You know, so the example for this is that white collar crime includes fraud, graft, legal combination and restraint of trade, misrepresentation and advertising, infringement of patents, adulteration of food and drugs, you know, then fee splitting by doctors and bribery. So all this kind of crimes are considered as white collar crimes. So then it actually then again says who's a criminal. So criminal basically is a person who's convicted of violating a criminal law, one who's convicted of a felony. Then it says a person who commits an antisocial act, whether or not he she is convicted of committed a crime. Then it, this is how it has been explained. Then actually it talks about legalistic criminal. So what is legalistic criminal? It says an individual who violates the law unintentionally, either because of ignorance, or is in the case of a feeble minded person, or because the law is so confusing that it is virtually impossible to obey. Professional criminals, a professional criminal is a career criminal who's highly trained for this kind of a work. She often has a philosophy of crime and take pride in his or her work. Forgery, burglary, counterfeiting, and confidence game are some of the careers pursued by professional criminals. You know, for example is professional thieves are also there. So this is how it is. Then, psychopathic criminal. So, what is psychopathic criminal? A person who commits a crime because she is psychologically unable to control his or her behavior. Psychopathic criminals are psychotics whose psychosis result in illegal acts. So they, that kind of a thing. There are people who are having some kind of serious psychological problems. They at times indulge in this kind of a practice of you know, doing some kind of a criminal activity. Next is situational criminal. Situational is person who commits a crime because of the overwhelming pressure of an unusual situation in which he finds himself. Sometimes due to the situation, it is such kind of a situation you don't know how to behave and how to do it. So, uh, so that's why they come into this kind of they indulge in this kind of a crime. Now, next is juvenile delinquency. See, juvenile delinquency, what do we understand by juvenile delinquency? Now, this is what is my area of work. Juvenile delinquency, I worked in this area for 3.5 years. It is basically a violation of law or ordinance by individual below the legal age of community is termed juvenile delinquency. It is essentially a legal concept. It does not include all acts of misbehavior or even serious misbehavior by children or youth, but only those acts that violate the law. See, in India, there is a Juvenile Justice Act. So, currently, it starts by talking about juvenile justice. 1 minute. Mm, It talks about. I'm just trying to. Okay. you know it talks about juvenile justice act 2000, and now we are in India. Now there is a juvenile justice act 2015, and though there is an amendment in that act also. So we in that act, in juvenile justice act, there is a there is a there are two. It covers two type of children. One is children in need of care and protection, and the other is juvenile delinquent, that is children in conflict with law. So earlier we were using this term juveniles. Now, under the new act of Juvenile Justice Act 2015, we do not call any child who is in conflict with law, who has done any crime, as a juvenile. We used the word child only, even for juvenile. The juvenile word is not in use uh, in India since 2015, when we have made a new act of Juvenile Justice Act 2015. So we are using a word child instead of juvenile. So in this, when I talk about juvenile delinquency, so juvenile delinquency, we have all kind of children coming to us, you know, as young as even 8 to 10 years of age child, And under the Juvenile Justice Act, the definition of a child is a child who's newly born from 0 to 18 years of age. So juvenile delinquency also covers children up to the age of 18 years in India. Yeah. So we cover this age children as juveniles, and there are three kind of offenses which are mainly covered in that. That is mainly petty offenses, serious offenses, and heinous offenses. So when I was working in that field, it was a juvenile justice board who used to handle the cases of juveniles. So I worked as a member of juvenile justice board. In the board, there are three people who take all the decision for the children. One is the principal magistrate who is coming from the judicial background, and two are the social work members like me. I can work there as a social work member, and I had one more colleague who was also from a social work kind of a background. So the three members bench supposed to deal with children of this category. Mm, uh, Dennis, you raised a hand. Yes, tell me.
Yes, firstly, I want to thank you for the wonderful work you were doing, and I would like to welcome everyone on board. My question will go straight to Juvenile Justice Act
Mm-hmm.
2000.
Mm-hmm.
Madam, my question is, did it work or does it still exist in India?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it introduced in India? I'd like to know much about juvenile justice.
See, juvenile justice, this act in India, this is something which was started long, long back. We had with time made changes in the act, and then we thought there is a need because there is United Nations Convention on Rights of Child, which we call UNCRC, that came in existence in 1989, I think, and in 91 India also became signatory to that. Earlier in 1986 we had a children act. Then we come out with a we felt there is some amendments needed. Then we came out with the act, the Juvenile Justice Act 2000. you know the Juvenile Justice Act 2000 was in force, and again it was felt there are certain improvements needed. So now we have the basic structure is same, that deals with two kinds of children in need of care and protection, and children in conflict with law. So children in conflict with law are the juvenile delinquent, which we are here covering, as it is an area of my interest and I have been working in child protection field. So I don't really need to read it from what is written over here. I can only talk to you people with my experience. Based on my experience, I can discuss several things with you as per your interest. So basic I can say, it is observed that children face different issues when they are living. So juvenile delinquency happens due to different factors. Due to poverty is one of the major factor. Due to unemployment of the family members is another factor. Family disputes are another factor. So there are different factors that results in juvenile delinquency. Why children become delinquent? Why they are uh, in petty? They are doing petty offenses due to so now there will be another thing that I can share now also, because you have in your assignment one question, that is a substance abuse and relation with juvenile delinquency. So just to answer on for that question also, I'm just sharing with you people. See, what is observed, like when I was there in that position, means I was the body who is to take the decision for children in conflict with law whose cases come before us. Fine. So we used to get many cases of children who were under the influence of drugs. And it is the study, one or two studies, what I have seen, that out of the total number of people who are in addiction, around 13%, 1 3, 13% of in that children, under the age of 18 to 20 years who are into drug addiction. So we people in board, in juvenile justice board, we had seen many children who were under the influence of drugs, were coming before us. Why? Why? Why were they caught? Because they were caught stealing, doing one or the other kind of a theft. Maybe mobile. They are kind of a stolen uh, mobile, some kind, just simple purses of somebody. And why? Why? Because they want to buy drugs, alcohol, as they are used to it and they are finding it difficult to live without that. So they tend to indulge in these kind of activities of stealing. And if they are stealing, so they are caught. When they are caught, so if they are, children under the age of 18, they are produced before JJB, Juvenile Justice Boards. So there I was sitting, like it is my responsibility to handle with, it's a team. As I said, there is a principal magistrate who is a judicial magistrate who is coming from the judicial officer background, and two members. So as a bench we are dealing with these cases. So what we are supposed to deal with them, we are basically, as a, if they are like they are children, it is our responsibility to work for their rehabilitation. We have to see how and what all efforts can be made, and how and what we can do to see that they are being rehabilitated. They have been taught some good values and things like that to become a normal citizen of our country. So when they are produced before us, so we basically, through our welfare officer, through our people who are working with the children, so we used to order them, to counsel them, to help them get, if they are in a age of learning some vocational course, or just to help them to continue with their education. So there are different ways to help that child to be rehabilitated, and reintegrated into the society. So this is what is the main purpose of the Juvenile Justice Act, to basically see how the children are being safe in the society, and they have been helped to become a citizen who can lead a normal, happy, healthy life. So this is what is being done. So you know so as I was telling you, as I was sharing with you, when I was
Yes.
there, we were getting these kind of children who were under, due to the influence of drugs, they are being caught. you know so even many times we used to get the cases of heinous offenses where they had done, even involved in murder cases, or they are involved in rape cases. So again, the child who's below 18 years is not sent to jail. They are being kept in different kind of homes that are meant to see how these children can be rehabilitated, how they can be helped to live a normal life. So those kind of places are there where these children can be kept. If we feel they are not safe to be sent back to their families, family situation may not be safe for that child, the child may get again under the pressure of peer group, again get involved in drugs. So to see how that child can be helped to improve his overall situation and become a normal citizen. So he or she, mostly it is boys who are indulging in these kind of things, girls number is very less in India. But boys number is comparatively much higher, when we talk about juvenile delinquency in Indian setting. So so they are basically being taught the values, the norms, the ways of life, no? They are being counseled, they are being helped if there is a need, And any child who is under the influence of drugs in Delhi, as I am from Delhi, in Delhi we even have some homes where they are being treated. You know, if the child is under too much of influence of drugs, there is some children when they are produced before us, they are not even able to speak. They are in a bad shape, so they need a proper treatment. In the hospital admission, and sometimes we have certain homes who are in a position to care for such children. They are helping them through different kind of ways, how they can be helped, how they can be helped to again adjust back into the society. So it may be through yoga, it may be through dance classes, music classes, different kind of approaches to see how that child can be again brought back to the normal system. So this is what is being done with these kind of children. So
Okay, good
yeah.
work done. Yeah,
Sorry.
and good work done, madam. If you,
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
yes, so you are trying to see that the country can move on with the good people. So that's good.
Yeah, this is what is being tried. It is not that I don't say that it is 100% the result oriented thing. We may fail also at times, but if we keep trying, so some success we surely achieve when we try to rehabilitate these children. So there is a possibility that we are in a position to improve, if not 100%, maybe 60%, maybe 70% of these children, you know, with
Yes,
our efforts,
yes.
with our system. So this is what it is. Okay?
Okay,
Yeah. So
thank you.
now, yeah, welcome, welcome. So now the next is issues faced by minorities. So when we talk about minorities, minorities are any recognizable racial, religious, or ethical group in a community that suffers some disadvantage due to prejudice or discrimination. Five religious minorities, namely Muslim, Christian, Sikhs, Jain, Buddhist, and also Parsis, have been notified as minorities as per the provision of the National Commission of Minorities Act 1992. So these communities constitute about 18% of the country's population. So, as you are studying this subject and mainly from the Indian perspective, so it says कि Indian population, 18% of the Indian population consists of these religious people. Fine. So, this is how it is. So, it says, that what are the constitutional basically uh, safeguards for minorities: the right to conserve language, script, and culture under Article 29, right to establish and administer educational institutions. Then Article 347 provide for presidential direction for recognition of language, you know, right to submit representation for redressal of grievances to any authority in the government in any of the language used in the state or union territory under Article 350. So, so this is what basically talks about constitutional safeguards. Then we have welfare for minorities. So, welfare for minorities, when we say, so there is a 15-point program for welfare of minorities that was launched in May 1983. See, so basically the it says that earlier program was revised as the Prime Minister's new 15-point program for the welfare of minorities in February 2005. You know, the Ministry of Minority Affairs is the nodal ministry for this program. So it has, this program is basically developed by the ministry. So then it says that there is a national commission for minorities. So In India, there are different national commissions for different kind of issues. So this is a national commission for minorities. So this was set up by the union government under the has been recognized in February 2003 for a period of basically 3 years. Whenever there is generally any commission is set up, it is basically set up for 3 years. Then there is a new elections and new ways to get the new people. You are asking me the meaning of Sikhs and Jains. These are actually the religious people. You know, Sikhs you might have seen in India with the people with pagadi who wear, thing on their head. The people with red, different colors. There are people, who have a pagadi. In Hindi, we call it pagadi. Some kind of a cotton cotton kind of a cap thing. It's not really a cap, but it is something which you might have seen some people with the dadi. I don't know what do we call it. Like with the I'm not getting that word in English. Uh, so I'm really sorry, but these are the people, and Jains are also, they are actually similar to Hindus. Even Sikhs are somehow similar to Hindus, but they are known, they have been given these terms because they have, if you have heard about Gurdwaras, like you have heard about mandirs in India, same way there are Gurdwaras. The people who are living in, you have heard about the state Punjab. Punjab has more and more Sikhs and they visit gurdwaras. So Gurdwara is a place where they visit. These are Sikhs. So who visit gurdwaras and Jains are also, Mahavir. They believe in Mahavir Jain, and they also have a kind of a, some similarity with Hinduism, but this is a different religion. They have a slightly different practices which they follow. So this is how it is. So now this National Commission for Women, it has a chairman, vice chairman, and members of the commission undertake visits to different states during their period to review the problems related to minorities. So if there are any issues which are related to minorities that are generally being observed by um, these people. Then we have backward classes. Backward classes we know. So backward classes basically is a term which is used for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and there are some other backward classes. So this is a term which is being used. And other backward classes are those cases, those caste communities that are notified as socially and educationally backward classes by the state government, or those that may be notified as such by the central government from time to time. So basically, they are socially and educationally backward people who have been considered. This is the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and that other backward classes are there. So till 1985, the backward classes in the Ministry of Home Affairs used to look after the affairs of backward classes. There is a backward classes cell. But with the creation of separate Ministry of Welfare in 1985, it was renamed as Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, that is with effect from 25th May 1998, the matters related to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes and minorities were transferred to new ministry. So in India now, we have a new ministry with the name of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment that deals with the issues of minorities and that deals with the issues of backward classes. Fine. So now there is a National Commission for Backward Classes. Like we talked about National Commission for Minorities. So now there is a National Commission for Backward Classes also. That is a act. There is a act also being made. This is a act, National Commission for Backward Classes Act 1993. So this act has been made, and it composition of the commission is again a chairperson who is or has been a judge of the Supreme Court, you see, or from a higher court, a social scientist, and two persons who have special knowledge in matters related to backward classes, and a member secretary who is or has been an officer of the central government in the rank of a secretary to the government of India. So this is generally the members who consist a national commission for backward classes. So they basically advices of the commission is something which are generally acceptable to the people. If they give any recommendation to the government considers that if there are issues related to these people, so they look after the issues and look after the problems and give the suggestions and advices, you know. So this is how it is. Huh. So it also says that here it says that National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes have been also made. You know, that is with effect from 1987. It has been made, and it takes care of the issues related to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So I'm not going into detail of this. So now we'll go further. You can study about basic things in that. You know, now it says about issues faced by women. You know, when we talk about social problems, so it is in a way is a sad story that man and woman should be considered at par, but we still feel that woman faces more and more issues. You know, so, women in the Indian society have been victim of humiliation, torture, and exploitation in both social and family spheres. Today, women are being recognized as important, powerful, and meaningful contributors to the society. Women continue to be the victims of violence, example rape, traditional social evils continue to flourish. Example, dowry. Discrimination in the economic sphere is rampant. Example, unequal wages. And newer challenges in the context of technological changes and global forces emerge to violate their rights and dignity, like female feticide and immoral traffic. So all these kind of things are happening. You know, they are beaten, they are being kidnapped, they are raped, they are burned, and they are murdered. So these are the issues which has been faced by the women in India. So, like National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for for the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. So now we have a National Commission for Women also. Yeah. So National Commission for Women was set up in 1992. You know, and basically it was set up as a statutory body under the National Commissions of Women Act 1990. Yeah. So that is basically to review the constitutional and legal safeguards for women, recommend remedial legislative measures, facilitate redressal of grievances, advise the government on all policy matters affecting women. So this is what is basically the responsibility of uh, National Commission of Women to look into each and every aspect related to the woman. Yes, Dennis.
Yes, madam.
Mm-hmm.
My question is the 1992 National Commission for Women.
Mm-hmm.
Did the commission attain to its success? Did it attain to its success?
See, I won't say nowhere nothing is foolproof, 100%. But through
Yes.
National Commission of Women, there are many issues which have been resolved. There are actually, this is a National Commission for Women. So every state in India, there are many states. So every state also has a state commission for women. So if there are issues which the women face, so they can, report to the commission to help them overcome that issue. That may be related to dowry, that may be related to rape. Though there are laws related to rape, there are different sections of Indian Penal Code, that is a legal term and which is being used. So there are Dowry Act also, but sometimes they are not able to get the help and they do not know how to approach the police, or police maybe at times are not registering their cases, and they may face some kind of a fear and some kind of a threat from somebody or the other. So national commission or state commissions are made to help up to resolve their issues. They can help them to, when the case when they can help them to register FIRs, they can help them, support them with somebody who can, there are actually, in India there is a district legal aid service authority that is supposed to provide free services to anybody who is in need. So
Yes.
they can help them, these commissions can help them to get the, sometimes if they go on their own they may not be treated well. So if they approach commission, so commission at times help them to resolve their issues, help them to approach the right person who can help them, with their case, to reach the court, you know so these kind of things. And sometimes women have faced maybe certain issues at their workplaces, so they can, if there are issues related to that, even then they can complain to national commission or state commission. They are in a position, they are the body who can assist and resolve it. So again I would say, if they see, there is nothing like that that will 100% resolve all the issues. In any country, in every country, these kind of setups are made to help the people who are in need, who are in need of different kind of helps. So these systems are there in existence. And I won't say that 100% every woman is in a position to get the help through the right person. They may not be even aware of this kind of a system. That is one way of looking at it. And even they are aware of it, if they may go to these places, sometimes they may be able to get a proper help, sometimes they may take some time to be provided with the right kind of a guidance and right kind of a help. But this is something which is surely able to help people. So this system has helped many women in India to come out with terms, to lead a normal, happy,
Yes.
healthy life. Yeah, it's there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, so now basically we have covered now with our unit third. We had discussed the different issues, contemporary social problems, which were few problems we discussed yesterday and few problems we have discussed today. So now the next unit is social defense. See, in social defense is a unit where we are going to study about concept of social defense and characteristics, social defense movement and its growth, National Institute of social defense programs. So, um, so this is what is here. What is social defense? See, so basically the term social defense is of Italian origin. It has been frequently used in the penal theory of constituent Europe and Latin America. It gained popularity when it was adopted by UN in 1948. Social defense is designated to ensure that the offender should receive the treatment which is appropriate to his individual case within a legal framework and by legal methods. Thus, conceived, social defense is largely based on the substitution of treatment for retributive punishment. So, So this is what it says. Basically, somewhere if we talk about it, basically the prevalence and persistence of problems of crime and deviance has been a matter of serious social concerns in all societies. You know, it was always felt that there is a mechanism comprising prevention, control, reformation, rehabilitation, and reintegration taken up by government and non-government organizations, agencies and institutions. So this is a way of looking at it, how and what all can be looked into it. So it also says that society's concern for the protection of its social order lies at the root of all mechanisms of social control. We had studied about social control also. So basically, it says leads to social action and to find out solution for problems which disturb the orderly functioning of social institution. If we say social defense appears to be a part of deviant behavior management system, that there is a deviant behavior which is not a normal behavior for any individual or any person living in the society. So whenever there is a deviant behavior management system of crisis containment and of rule making and enforcing rule conformity. So simply if we say social defense could well be taken as an art and science of defending society against all odds, crises, and problems which threaten to undermine the very structure of societal institutions and agencies. So, this is what it talks about. So now here are the characteristics of social defense. See, I think these are certain things which you maybe on your own you people can study about it. About these characteristics, I am leaving it. And now the social defense movement. So social defense movement. Social defense is not a new dogma or establishes a single doctrine in place of all other theories of criminal law and criminology. It is an endeavor to breathe into criminal law a social spirit in harmony with the present trends. The aim of social defense movement is precisely to incorporate those methods of individual treatment into a comprehensive panel policy which will render it effective in achieving the protection of society through the protection of the individual. So this is basically in very brief. This is a movement that can help how one can you know help a person to lead a normal life as a normal human being's life in a society. He or she can be protected and lead a normal life. So now growth of social defense movement. See, growth of social defense movement is, see, the idea of social defense is an old one. It could, however, be assimilated into the body of criminal law and criminology only in the beginning of the 20th century. It's not a very old phenomenon. Generally, we have noticed about this subject only in the beginning of 20th century. The new social defense movement developed in the year after the Second World War. The movement assumed significance between 1945 and 1949 when the Study Center on the Social Defense was founded at Geneva in 1948. So this is basically the concept of social defense mainly got its recognition, in the at the time of World War II. And it was basically founded, what we have seen here is in 1948 with the institution of social defense section of the UN, which defined the purpose of the movement as the prevention of crime and the treatment of offenders. So this is basically the main understanding of social defense, that we want how we can prevent the crimes and how we can give treatment to the offenders, so this is basically the main criteria. So it aims to protect society from crime generating factors and forces, not merely by treating and rehabilitating the offender, but also by creating such conditions in the community which are conducive for a healthy and wholesome growth of human life. So basically, this is what is expected, that we want the treatment and rehabilitation of offenders, but we also want, you know, that a person is in a position to live a conducive, healthy life. So this is what it says, that this is basically this movement started with this concept. So social defense, the Indian context. So what is there? What do we understand here? The Indian, what is there in the Indian context? So the term social defense did not become that popular in the official lexicon of criminal justice administration in India. A noticeable change in the situation was witnessed with the setting up of Central Bureau of Correctional Services by the Government of India in 1963. Fine. Many people connected with the police, judiciary, and correctional institutions could then come to understand the term social defense in its proper perspective. Use of the term gained more usage with the reorganization of the Bureau into the National Institute of Social Defense in the year 1973. So basically, we have in India NIST, this National Institute of Social Defense, that comes under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and this was established in 1973. So National Institute of Social Development. So National Institute of Social Defense started functioning as a subordinate office under the administrative control of Ministry of Social Welfare. Now it is known as Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. It currently serves at the central advisory body in the field of prevention of crime and treatment of offenders. So again, NIST has a major focus how we can make our efforts to control the crimes, prevent the crime system, and how, in which way we can treat whosoever is an offender, whosoever has done anything wrong, not right or wrong, has done any crime, how we can treat that offender. The main areas covered by the institute are juvenile justice administration, welfare of prisoners, probation and allied measures, suppression of immoral traffic, beggary control, and drug abuse prevention. So the NIST, that National Institute of Social Defense, that is there in India. So the major focus areas are given here. So basically the juvenile justice I was telling you all about. So this is also one of the important areas for NIST to see. With that, beggary is also a social problem, the social issue that is also being seen by them. Drug abuse is a major issue, a major problem that is also being handled by them. Welfare of prisoners. So the for prisoners, the people who are in prison for life or for whatever period in prisons, so what all welfare measures can be in place for them, this is also covered by NIST. So they work with that. So now we have social defense programs. So, what are the social defense programs I just mentioned? So, Social Defense Division of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, is implementing a variety of programs for the neglected, marginalized people, abandoned, destitute, neglected, and delinquent juveniles who need care and protection, children who are in conflict with law, street children, drug addicts, the offenders, the aged, host of others who need special care and support. So here it talks about different important programs for the social defense division. So this is these for the first 6 7 hour of my profile, and I have been taking trainings, and I have been, mainly from last many years I am only doing trainings, because I have worked also, as I was telling you, people in juvenile justice board. Before that, I was working with Child Welfare Committee. See, this care and protection of children, when I talk about this care and protection of children and children in need of care and protection, see, this is where I worked earlier. That is called as Child Welfare Committee. That is also under the Juvenile Justice Act. As I said, Juvenile Justice Act has mainly two bodies. One is Juvenile Justice Board, that deals with children in conflict with law, that juvenile delinquency, what we have studied some time back, and the other is children in need of care and protection. So when I say children in need of care and protection, that is being dealt by Child Welfare Committee. Child Welfare Committee is mainly a body that has 5 members. So I worked as a Child Welfare Committee member earlier for 6 years. So that is the body who deals with all the children who are in need of care and protection. See, who are basically the children who are in need of care and protection? That is again a big question mark. There are children who are being abandoned, there are children who are being orphaned, there are children who do not have anybody to care for them. There are children who are in drug abuse, who are who do not have any support system, who may not have done a kind of any stealing or all, but they were found somewhere on the road or somewhere on the street, in a bad shape under the influence of drugs. So they will be produced before Child Welfare Committee. They are children who are being raped and do not have any family member to support. So they are the children in need of care. They are the children who are on the street. They are the children in need of care and protection. So, like that, there are different categories. Sometimes there are physically and mentally challenged children who do not have any support system. So, they are produced before us, to take a decision for them, to put them in the right places, in the right homes where they can be taken care of, their needs are being fulfilled. So, those kind of places are there who are being taken care of. So this is the children in need of care and protection, where actually I worked for 6 years. Before the coming to Juvenile Justice Board, I worked in children Child Welfare Committee. That was a bench of 5 members like me. All 5 members, if that bench which has the 5 members. So that 5 members bench was called a bench of magistrate. So it was a bench that has a power to deal with like a magistrate, you know, to take a final decision related to these children. The children who are in need of care and protection, who are in difficult situation, so their needs are being looked into by the Child Welfare Committee. So their needs are being taken care of. There are children who can be helped through sponsorship program. There are children who can be kept in any children home for the time they need some help. So for their basically care and protection, if they don't have any place to stay, so they are being kept in the children homes. So these kind of different, they are children who can be helped through vocational programs, who can be helped through education, who can be helped through different means. So basically these different kind of a help, if they are in drug abuse, so they can be treated through a right place, a right kind of environment. So this is what is being happened with all such children. you know So now children in conflict with law, I have explained you earlier. So I'm not going to talk about it in again. Then there is an integrated program for street children. So actually, in India, even our Supreme Court, Supreme Court is the uppermost body to take the judicial responsibilities. So in India, the Supreme Court is in Delhi only. So Supreme Court has recently passed a judgment where they have asked, like I talked about National Commission for Women, National Commission for Minority. Likewise, we have a National Commission, you know, for National Commission for Children, for child rights. So they have, the Supreme Court has asked, that body is called National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, NCPCR. Yeah. So the Supreme Court has asked the National Commission to come out with the plans how and what all efforts can be made to reduce the children who are on the street, because we see, beggary is a real major issue, and there are children who are the rat pickers and doing all kind of odd jobs on the streets and all. So the Supreme Court of India has asked the National Commission for Children to come out with the right kind of a approach, how and what all can be done to see that the children who are on the street can be given right kind of a support system, education, the care and protection. That is again a mandate of Child Welfare Committee, who sees the issues related to these children. So that is the body, so through the Child Welfare Committee, what all measures can be taken to see this issue, this problem of street children can be resolved. So this has been asked. Then inter-country adoption of children. See, in India, from India, we have there is a body in India. There is a body called Central Adoption Resource Authority. So that body has given recognition to different countries and different organization in different countries to give children in adoption in intercountry. So as per the Hague, there is a Hague, under the Hague, there is a intercountry guidelines. That intercountry guidelines are being made and that are being followed by many countries. So the Indian government, through this Central Adoption Resource Authority, there are children who are not placed within India can be given to the families living in other countries. So from India, children are going to different countries. Many children are going to USA. Many children are going to different European countries, in Australia. So likewise, even there are many NRIs families living different parts of the world. So they at times take children. Or other countries are also there who are accepting children from India. But the criteria is, see, the foreign family can take a child from India. Only that child can go to a foreign country who is not acceptable to families who are a resident of India, who may be NRIs, or who may be overseas citizens of India, OCIs. So these are the different categories who are considered first on priority. If there is a child who is not accepted by these families, that child be considered for adoption in intercountry adoption. So inter-country adoption of children is also considered from India. That is the way to tell you. I worked in adoption for 11, 12 years of my life. So when I worked there, I have seen that the children who are not being adopted by our Indian families, and those children are children with heart problem, children with cerebral palsy, children with HIV/AIDS, children with physical deformities. These kind of children from my hand had gone to many foreign families, especially in USA and a few of European countries. I placed from my hand only. So I had given all such kind of children, and they are being doing wonderfully well because Indian government has made it a rule that they ask for the progress report. If the child is being given in adoption to any family outside India, the progress reports have been asked. So those progress reports are being taken care by, and when we see the progress reports of children, how they are doing, it really gives you a good feeling. The children who could not be placed with Indian families, though they are being adopted by foreigners, but they do really wonderfully well after adoption. So this is something. Then you have care for older persons. So when we talk of care for older persons, the population of older persons in India is increasing at fast pace. You know, index of aging indicates that while in 1971 there were nearly 14.2, only 14%, 0.2% for every 100 children. That figure rose to 24.7 per 100 children by 2001. So from 14.2 in 71, and after 30 years it came to 24.7 per 100 children. So this is actually, we can see, and it is generally a general phenomena worldwide, that due to now health improvement facilities and due to different ways of leading a life, that the age, the survival age of the persons is increasing. If in India earlier the age used to be 58, 60, now we consider that above 70, that average age for the men to live a life is around 70 or so in India nowadays. I'm not really very sure of it, but it has come up to 68 or 70, like that. So this is the reason why we can observe and see that the number of aged people is increasing. In the year 1999, the government has come out with the national policy for older persons during the United Nations International Year of Older Persons. In keeping with the provisions contained in National Policy for Older Person, a National Council for Older Persons was constituted in 1999. So somehow the Indian government is also working out on different ways to look after the older people. So it says the integrated program for old person is about people above 60 years of age, particularly the infirm, destitute, and widows. Under the scheme, grant is given for running old age homes, daycare centers, mobile Medicare in units, and also non-institutional services for older person. The aim is to improve the quality of life for old person. So this is what is important. Then it says prevention of alcoholism and substance abuse. We have studied about it earlier, so I don't think I need to repeat this. You know, I think we can leave it, but still, I'll just see something very brief. I will like to still share with you. It says that they like to tackle the problem of drug abuse. A two-pronged strategy of supply control and demand reduction. I said it earlier also that there is a need for supply control and demand reduction. That has been adopted, while the control of supply is taken care of by the Narcotic Control Bureau and the police, and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment took the responsibility of looking after the educational and rehabilitation aspect of drug abuse. So Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is working towards building awareness, among dealing with the addicts through a well-rounded program of motivation, counseling, treatment, follow-up, and social reintegration of cured drug addicts. Imparting drug abuse prevention and rehabilitation training to volunteers. So now actually there is a scheme for prevention of alcoholism and substance abuse for running the following activities with the collaboration of NGOs. There are many NGOs who are working in this field. So these are the few things which they are working on. Counseling and awareness centers, treatment cum rehabilitation centers, de-addiction camps, awareness creation programs, workplace prevention programs, organizing program in schools, community holding exhibitions, publishing newsletters and journals. So these kind of things are happening. Then it also says treatment and rehabilitation, de-addiction camps. All these things are happening and they are making a lot of difference in one's life. So, so this is basically what we are mainly talked about. It also says that workplace prevention programs, in order to encourage workplace prevention program, financial assistance up to 25% of the expenditure for setting up a 15 bedded or 30 bedded treatment cum rehabilitation center is provided to the industrial units, you know, having at least 500 workers. So wherever there is a unit, any organization working with 500 people, so there is a scheme, there is a thing that how the people who are in this kind of a thing can be helped. So these awareness generation programs are also very important, because awareness generation programs includes building of seminars, conferences, workshops, essay debate competition, publicity through mass media, etc. This is all which has been promoted. Several radio and TV programs have been launched and films were produced to create awareness about the role of parents, teachers, and opinion leaders in the prevention and control of alcohol and drug abuse. So, this is something where the government and the NGOs are working to control this menace of drug abuse. So there are different kind of programs and different way the government is working to do this and work for the rehabilitation of these people. So this is what, with this we have completed our course. You can ask me questions, and then after your questions I can once your questions are over, over, then I can go with the thing of just a minute. Yeah, if you have any questions, you ask. Anybody, any questions? No questions? If there are no questions, so then I can basically discuss with you people about the your assignment, because in our first class you people wanted me to talk to you about your assignment, you know. So do I start with it? Please answer.
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead,
madam.
madam.
Thank you very much for this. Is very interesting, and we thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And your effort and commitment is highly appreciated in this aspect. And then we want to discuss regarding the assignment with you, as you say so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you liked it, I know some certain parts you may find it as slightly boring, because you know uh, certain things are very theoretical. So I could not give examples for every aspect, but I tried. But wherever I can give you examples, I was trying to give you examples to make you understand and make it slightly more interesting, but not in every way, not in every. Field I can say, but most of the time I was trying to give you examples, so that you people have some interest. Okay, so when it comes to assignment that you all can see on the IGNU website. You know, there is a assignment. There it is written that it is there, which is for your this session. You know, which is for 31st March 2023 till you have to submit. So this assignment I have seen, and it has 8 questions, and you are supposed to do 5 questions. And it says that every question which you people have to do, it has to be written in 300 words. So out of 8 questions, there are you have to basically write five answers in 300 words. 300 words actually not really a very long answer. It is generally 3 to 4, maximum 3 pages, but if you are typing it, it may be 2 pages. I think in 2 pages you can see how, you know, and nowadays it's very easy to see the word limit through the, when you are writing on your computers, you can see the word limit of your answer, because here it says 300 words. So you have to answer, that means a very brief answer for all the question, not very lengthy answers, not needed to write very very long answer. So try to see the word limits whenever you answer to your questions. So there are 8 questions. What I observed is the 8 questions what they have written here is every block. You know, we have studied in 4 blocks. So when we have studied the 4 blocks, and when I have seen this question paper, so here I noticed that every block they have taken 2 questions from every block. You know, so this is what I noticed from this question paper. I don't know whether I'll be. Uh, do you want? matlab, I have to restart the laptop which I closed. Do you want me to come out with the question paper on the screen?
Yes, you can do that, madam.
So for actually for that you need to wait for a little while, because I closed my the second thing. I will open it and I need 2-3 minutes from you people. Uh, I just need 2-3 minutes to see where is that to see my because it is there on my laptop. I will try to see how I can, you know. Just give me give me 2-3 minutes, no? English first semester 22. Mm, I really don't know. I will try. I'll see how I can find it. I am not able to find myself only on this computer. Need little time from you people. Not able to see this. I am finding finding it difficult to share that particular screen with the question paper. I'm still trying, huh? Just give me 2-3 more minutes. I'll see how I can do it.
No problem, ma. Go ahead, no problem.
Mm. See here. So now you all can see, na? You can see, na? You are able to see?
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see.
Huh. So the first, no, this is not the one. No, no, this is not the one. This is one minute. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. So this is
Yes, we
you
can see
see
now.
that. Huh. So now you all can see that you have to write any 5 questions, as I said, in 300 words each. So the first question is, briefly explain the primary groups and secondary group with suitable examples. See, if you know these primary groups and secondary groups, we have studied in our first block. You know, when I had taken your very first class, we have talked about primary groups and social groups. In when I will today I told you, I will share. See, I forgot to share the PPTs with the Dr. Tripathi. I will share with him after your class with him, and he will share with you all the 4 PPTs what I have used in all the 6 classes. Okay. So in that PPT also you will see, when I had taken your first class, I had explained primary groups and secondary groups in a table format also. And please write it down that in block 1 under 1.6 unit 1.6, you know, when you see unit 1.6, you can see about primary groups and secondary groups in that. So from that chapter 1.6, you have to write in 300 words about what is primary group and what is secondary group from there. So what we all know, na, primary groups basically nuclear family or families with children, or our close friends are primary groups, and secondary groups may be universities, schools, or any workplace, that is called like a secondary group. So basically you can write down this block 1 1.6. Basically I'm just sharing with you all what all you can see, the answers, where you can find the answers for your uh, questions. You know, you are to do 5 questions, but I will just go one by one. which block and which place you will find the answer for that. Second question is elucidate means and forms of social control. See, we have studied about this in our second class. When I had taken your second class, I spoke to you all about different means and different forms of social control. So that you will find in your block 1, write down it is unit 5, 5.6 and 5.7. These two units, 5.6 talks about different forms of social control, 5.7 talks about different means of social control. So these are the two places where you will get the answer of this question. Okay? Now the third question. The third
Madam,
question is,
Madam, I'm sorry, I missed on the question 1. I missed on question 1.
so,
Where can you maybe repeat, please?
first question, primary and secondary
Yes,
group. There you
yes.
will get it. You will get the answer in block 1, unit 1.6. Unit 1.6, you will find the answer for that. And in my presentation,
No, sorry,
on,
madam. Madam,
sorry, yeah.
I want to ask a question.
Hmm?
The question you are presenting is different from my RMS.
No, this is what is there. This is
Yes, and
correct.
I also agree with her. The
Yeah,
one which is there is
my
not the one we're
RMS
having in
said,
our LMS.
and my
Yes,
RMS
I also
says
agree.
100 words is needed is not enough.
It is
Okay,
totally
because
Madam,
different
see,
because
this,
ours
and
is in
this is for
520
2021,
words.
2021, 2022.
sorry.
This shows
It is
that it
This
is
totally
for the
is,
2021,
different.
2022.
see, this, I'll just show you. I'll go to the first screen. This is what I have received. It is written here for January 23 session. See, see on top, it is written here. This is for March 31st, 2023, January 2023 to September 23 session. So
But
I
it
have
diff-
this.
It is totally different.
but it is totally different from what
Okay, then in that case, I am sorry, I won't be able to help you. But whatever questions I am sharing with you, if you know how I am going, similar way, you can also try to find out your answers. You may note down
Yes.
whatever I am sharing with you. So this will give you a rough idea. When you see your different questions, you can accordingly answer to them at looking at different units. Okay? Is it okay? Because at present I don't have the other question paper with me.
It is okay, madam.
Yeah, because as
It is
I have
okay.
showing you, I am showing you this is what is very much easily, here it is visible. July 22 session, March 31st, 2023. It's written very clearly over here. And January 2020 session, September 13th. So I have this only with me. So I'm sorry, for in that case, I am not aware of, so I may not be able to help you right away with that. So, so I'll just explain you whatever questions I have, which you are noticing, and with that, you may be able to get some help how to go about it. So, do I say? Do I tell you people or do we leave it? How you want me to go, you can tell me.
Oh, you can go ahead, madam. You can go ahead.
Okay, because this is something you may get a question, maybe slightly different. It will be one or the other way. Maybe some questions maybe may have linked with this assignment what I am sharing with you. So it may help you in one or the other way to answer, because this may help you even for your examination purpose also. Yeah. When
Yes, madam, that's true.
Huh. So now the third question is discuss the impact of caste system on Indian society. So for this, it is a question from block 2, So in block 2, under unit 3.6, you can find this answer. They have explained it, under 3.6 unit, okay, in the block 2. I just want to add something here. Like, even when I am taking your classes, sometimes for certain things, I also search on Google, to get some more material, to get some more details on a subject, on a particular topic. In my 6 classes with you all, so many times I have also Google search for certain things for my clarity. So you people can also do that. When you are writing answers, you feel there is something missing from your material, what you have. For more clarity, you can also find simple way some answers on Google search, which I tried with your classes. Because to tell you people, I am a person, as I told you in my first class, and today also I shared with you about my background on child protection, that I have been working in the sector of child protection from last 25-26 years. Before that, I worked in UN High Commission for Refugees. I worked for 6 years. And from last 25 to 26 years, I have been working in the field of child protection. So for your classes, for many times, I also try to understand certain concept on Google search. I read the material, and for some more clarity, many times I have seen certain things on Google search. So when you people study and you are writing answers, so you can also take the help from Google search for certain answer. You don't need that for every answer. Certain answers were very clearly defined as per your syllabus, as per your material, and what all units I'm sharing with you. But sometimes, if you feel you need some more clarity for your understanding, you can take the help from there. Okay? So now next is define state, discuss the role and importance of state in modern society. So this is something, again, it is in our block 2 when we were studying block 2, and this answer you can get it in 4.2. When we were unit 4 we were studying, so unit 4.2 has the answer for this. Okay? Now the fifth question is, describe the role expectations in marital life. This is a question from our block 3, because block 3 we were studying mainly on the marriage and related aspects. So in block 3, unit 4.2 has this answer. So it clearly explains what all the role of man and woman, and it has been explained very clearly over there. Then the next question is, explain family as the agent of a new society with suitable examples. This is again from block 3. From block 3, it is in unit 3.5. So unit 3.5 explains about this, how to approach and how to go and write the answer of this question. Okay. Then the next is, discuss the relationship between substance abuse and juvenile delinquency. So yes, Felicia.
Good morning, madam. Please, I want to ask if every question you have to answer in 300 words.
Yeah. Yes, all answers are equal. It is basically you are answering 5 questions, and all 5 questions are of 20 marks each, and you have to answer every question in 300 words. It is there. It is written. When you get the question paper also, it is written above over there. It is total marks are 100 for your 5 questions, and this is how you have to go with the answers. You have to write all answers in 300 words each. For each question, answer is in 300 words. Okay? Yeah. So this is the answer, that family as a agent of a new society. So this answer you will get in block 3, unit 3.5. So you will get the answer for this question there. Okay. And then I was discussing with you, discuss the relationship between substance abuse and juvenile delinquency. I spoke to you people with my experience with you all in today's class. So juvenile delinquency you will see in block 4, unit 3.5, that explains about juvenile delinquency, and we have also studied about substance abuse. So to link that, you can write the answer of this question, whosoever is interested, because you have to answer only 5. So you have to choose which 5 are of your interest and you feel you are more comfortable to answer for those 5. So you choose, and accordingly you can write the answers for that. So the last question is, explain various approaches to the study of social problems. So, various approaches to the study of social problems we studied yesterday. Yesterday we were studying in our block 4, and it is unit 1.7. So it is in unit 1.7. You can get the answer for last question. Okay. What was your question? Is it compulsory to design a cover page when writing our assignment? See, basically the IGNU expect when you write your assignment, there is no design which is needed. On the first page, you need to write your name, your enrollment number, your course number, course code. These are the basic requirements in your thing. These three basic things are needed to write on the first page of that. There is no design, and you don't need to write any other thing in that. These three basic things, and your phone number you can write, and if it is needed, if the address is needed, you can write. But main three things are your name, your enrollment number, and the course code. That is important, that you need to write for that. Okay. And Dennis, what is it?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
To me, basically, I wrote well my assignment and I converted them to PDF. Then after I submitted without writing there my name. That's what I was trying to ask for the cover page. I did not write my name, my paper code, and my enrollment number.
That is
So
important.
what
That is
next for that?
important. If maybe in that case, even it has gone earlier, you may say revised version and maybe may send it, try to send it again, because it is very much needed. When anybody is submitting the assignment, that person has to submit the name, enrollment number, and course code. These three things are very important when you submit your assignments. So, as far as I know, in Indian settings, till now they are following this procedure. So, this is what is needed. I understand it's supposed to be handwritten and 1 minute. What is that question? It's supposed to be handwritten and scanned, right? See, maybe for some questions tomorrow, as you are from tomorrow, the class is being taken by the person from the School of Social Work. So this, I think, they will be able to answer you better, because I think when I heard the orientation program of you people on that Sunday, from the next day, then you started your classes. That Sunday, when that orientation program was happening, there I was also attending, and I heard that they have said you can even send a typed one. So as I'm not very sure of, so for that reason I suggest you that you may uh, 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 ask from tomorrow when you are going to have the classes from the School of Social Work professor. Okay. Any? Yeah. So anybody else? Any other questions you have? Now we are about to, yes, Faisal.
Yes, I have a question. My question is goes over: is it allowed to use your handwriting, or you must type it in a form
See,
that?
this is the same thing what I am telling you, as I am not very sure about it. In India, when the students, IGNOU students, have been asked to write all answers by hand, but to you people, how it has been told to you, I'm not very sure of. So I request you people that from tomorrow, when you have that faculty, please ask that faculty to answer for this question, whether you can write it by hand or it has to be typed. I'm not very sure of. For both assignments and journals, this answer, please ask the person who's taking your class from tomorrow or whenever, from Monday, when you are going to have the new sessions, of the new subject classes. Please ask him.
All
Yes,
right.
Stephen?
All right, thank you, ma.
Yeah, Stephen? Yeah, okay. Stephen, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, ma, I came in a bit late. Yeah, but I wanted to find out about the question I asked yesterday. Has it been answered about the letters for journal?
For
That's just what I want to find out.
about journal.
I came in late.
About journal you are
Yes,
asking.
they said they are going to send letters.
About general, see,
Yes,
about
they are going
general
to.
also, about general also, the faculty who will take your classes, he will speak to you and guide you how to go about journals, and who will be your supervisor. They will allot and they will explain you details related to journal, because they are the school of social work professors who have made this course, so they will be able to guide you better on this. I am not the right person to answer as of now.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Somebody else also has raised hand. Who's that? Baba Hassan?
Yes, ma.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight rest of my colleagues regarding the this thing assignment. During our orientations, there have been said that we should it will be acceptable in you if you wish you can write it in your hand. If you wish, you could be able to you can even type it. Anyone they will be accept. And then you may mention of here in the Indian context they used to conduct in handwritten form. So though here we already type it and then we prefer to push it like this. So I don't know if there is anything you will be able to say regarding this.
Okay. Yes, Yami.
Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Of course, it may happen that you have already said this, but my network was tripping, so I just want to ask if the assignments, uh, we should actually write the reference at the end of the assignment and even inside the assignment. Are we supposed to include the in-text citation and the reference at the end? That's what I want to ask. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
See, basically, there is no reference needed. You don't need to write the reference from where have you written the answers and all. You only have to write the 300 words answer for all your questions. But only what I said is, in the beginning, the maybe on the first page, you have to write your name, your enrollment number, and the course code. But there is no other kind of a thing which is needed. No, you don't need to write from where you have written your answers. All such details are not needed to be written in your assignment. It is just your expression, your way of writing, how you write, which material you are using. You don't need to write anything about that in your answers, or not even you. Index is also not needed. Only thing which is important, when you write the answer, you have to write it is answer number one. It is the answer for your first question, or you are answering for the third question. So maybe you can write the question on top and then write answer, or very clearly write which question you are answering. That is important, how you have to write your answer, you need to be very clear that this answer is for a specific question. That question should be very clear. Either the name, either the number. If you can write, it is the answer for the question number 4. You know, or you can write it is the answer, or you can write the full question and then start writing the answer, or you just write the question number 4 answer for question number 4. So this is how you can do. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yeah. Yummy Feza. Yummy Feza?
You have already answered, madam.
Achha, I have, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Baba Hassan. Baba Hassan.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma.
Achha, do you have any question left or is it okay?
Yes, my question is this thing regarding the. My question
Your mic is off.
is
Yeah.
my question is that this topic, this particular course that we are taking here is for the second semester, and then we are expecting, or we being reminded that our second semester exam will come up around December. Is there any recap from you for us, like canceling class? Recap class for the course when it is come for before we conduct the exam for that particular course.
See, this is, I cannot answer. This is whatever is basically the decision is taken by the School of Social Work authorities. Probably in Indian setting, for one course, classes happen only once in a year. So there is no question. Generally, there is no revision kind of a class that happens for any course. This is generally a routine in Indian setting. So I don't know if there is any change for you people about this. I can't really answer you
Okay.
for that. Yeah, but generally it
Okay,
happens
thank you.
only once the classes are given, because this is something which you are doing as an open learning course. So these kind of things are basically just to help you, guide you how to go about your course. Basically
Okay,
you
thank you,
have
ma'am.
to study on your own and use your own ways of going about it. It's just a basic
Okay, thank you.
guidance what we are giving you. This is how it is. Open learning course it is for that reason. Yes, Abdul Salam.
Okay, thank you, ma. Me also, I have one question regarding to the assignment. So, is it possible for me to choose each question I wish? Example, like maybe I wish to answer question 1, or question 6, or question 4, or question 5. Is it possible for me to answer it randomly?
Yes, you can decide. The no person who will check your question paper will see whether you are going number wise to answer your question. Only thing is, you have to, out of 5, you have to write 5 answers. You can go in a systematic way also, that you write the question 1 answer and then you choose the question number 3rd answer and then 4. Or you may choose to write the first answer. You may decide that first you want to answer question number 8. That is acceptable. That is no issue. Nobody will have any question that how you are answering. You only have to answer 5 questions. Whichever way you are comfortable, you can choose your way of writing it. It is not that you have to go systematically one by one. No, nothing of that sort. It's your choice how to go about it. Okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And now there is one more question. Aliu. Sabo. Sabo, your hand is raised. Aliu Sabo. Aliu Sabo. Any question? Or is it by mistake?
Yeah, I
If it
think
is
I think so. I think so.
maybe by mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So if all okay, then from my side, I'm only sharing and I'm giving you my good wishes. You all, I hope, will do well. Whenever your exams will take place. If any one of you want to have my phone number, do you want? Is it
Yeah,
needed?
ma.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we need it.
ma'am.
I can
We
give
really need
you,
it, ma.
but have one request. I am sharing my phone number, but with the request, please don't phone me just like that. If
Okay,
anybody
ma.
wants to ask me anything, please send me a message. Your message can come to me either a regular message, or if you people have a WhatsApp message, you can decide whichever way. Please, but do not call me just like that any day, any time. Huh? Just send me a
Okay,
message that you want to talk to me, and then I will give you the time when to talk, and then you can give me a call accordingly. Okay?
okay, thank you, ma. Even you are as with your mail too, sir. Ma, it will be appreciated, ma.
Sorry?
Pardon, I say with including with your mail ID too will be entertained for us.
Yeah, this is my phone number and my email ID I'm sharing.
Okay, thank you, ma.
So I have shared my phone number and email ID with you all. You can send me an email or message on phone if there is any query which you want to ask. You can accordingly go about it. Okay? So is it all? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
okay,
yes,
madam. It's
thank you,
very, very
ma'am.
okay.
So thank you all of you and all the best. All right.
Thanks, madam.
Okay.
Thanks,
So
thanks.
so I'm
Thank you
closing.
so much,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma. We will miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you too. I also got an
Namaste.
opportunity to interact with you people, so that's something really nice.
Namaste,
Yeah.
namaste, ma'am. Namaste.
Mm. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you and good
Thank you.
wishes to all of you. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you very
Bye
much,
bye.
ma. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.